Well, on this crappy, gloomy, cold winter's day, let's go back in time to last growing season. Yes, g'day and welcome to a new video. Today I want to go through the top 3 things that I sort of learnt, had reinforced last growing season out here on this back lawn. I made a video about my front lawn. I was talking about soil testing and a few other bits and pieces that I really had reinforced on that lawn, which is a very different space in the way it grows compared to this back lawn, which has been far less of a struggle over the journey. But it was a massive season on this lawn last season. If you've been following me for a while, you know there was a lot going on out here. So I do sort of feel like last season I didn't really get to enjoy this back lawn as much as I would have liked to. How nice is that? The sun's actually coming out. But yeah, I didn't really get to enjoy this lawn as much as I would like to because I had it looking really good September, October. I did my renovation a little bit late after a family holiday, so not that late, but late October into November. I had my irrigation installed, so I was battling sort of regrowing across those trenches throughout the whole sort of rest of the season. Had some issues with my older son's health through December. We went on a family holiday to Tasmania. I didn't want to spray PGR before we left because I wanted those irrigation trenches to keep knitting across and filling in. So we got home, lawn was a bit thick and overgrown, even though it had been renovated 2 months earlier. It just hadn't had the regular mowing. So I did a big thin out, it looked really good. Then I had a bit of issue with fungal disease. Then I did another renovation on it at the end of February, early March, which I'm going to talk about later in this video. And then I've talked a bit about on here as well, how throughout autumn, I just never really got the recovery I was after on this back lawn to get it to a really good point. So consequently, it hasn't been looking as good as I would have hoped throughout winter. Still not too bad, but just not quite where I want it. And so out of that little chat, the one main thing to pick up on and the one biggest lesson to share is the importance of regular mowing. So I feel like I wasn't able to maintain that regular mowing as much as I would have liked for different factors, which is always going to happen. There's always going to be things that are happening with family, with life, with holidays, where you just, you know, the weather, where you're just not able to potentially get out and mow your lawn as frequently as you would like. But having that regular mowing, not cutting off too much in one time, not letting it get overly thick, it's just so important to be able to maintain your lawn at a really good standard. And for anyone that's sort of new to the hobby, I don't want you to think that, well, you know, if I'm not mowing my lawn 2 or 3 times a week, I'm not going to be able to have it looking good. Because you definitely are. It just depends on what your goals are. So for me, I want to maintain my lawn decently low, around 20 millimeters or something like that, mowing with a cylinder mower. It's growing a lot throughout spring, summer and early autumn. So only nicking off the top of the grass in each mow, not cutting huge amounts off. So we have the 1/3 rule. You know, don't want to be cutting off more than 1/3. So for me, if I'm cutting at 20 mil, I don't really want my lawn to grow past 30 mil. Because I want to be able to just cut that top 1/3 off to maintain nice healthy growth and keep it looking good, not let it grow up to 50 mil, back to 20, 50 mil, back to 20, just puts the grass under more stress, means you're more likely to get disease and all that sort of thing. So I feel like if I was able to maintain that regular mowing a lot more last season, I would have been able to maintain a lot better lawn for a lot longer periods of time. Number 2 is about thinning out kikuyu. So some grass types are a lot thatchier, they get a lot thicker and a lot spongier, a lot faster than other grass types. But kikuyu, my grass type, it is a lot more prone to thatching up than some other grass types. And so if you're into your lawn care, something you'll know about and you'll have thought about is about grooming your lawn. So it's basically coming across with a specialized machine. I have in the past just used my Ryobi scarifier, put it on a really tall setting, and the idea is it's just coming through and just thinning out the canopy of the lawn. After you do it, your lawn shouldn't look particularly bad. It shouldn't look like you've renovated it. You're just coming across, running those vertical blades through it just to pull up a little bit of material, not so much thatch, more so above ground thickness and growth and excess runners and all that kind of thing, just to clean it up a little bit, freshen it up, make the lawn stand up a bit taller. You come across and give it a clean cut. If you time it for when you're due for fertilizer, or you know, you're due to give your lawn a big water the next day, or whatever it may be, you time it around those sorts of things before rain, you know, just to kick a little bit of something back into it if you've maybe gone a little bit too hard or something like that. But doing those kinds of things, especially kikuyu, really important. And like I talked about with some of those, you know, things that sort of got in my way last season, I probably didn't do enough of that regular, or I wasn't able to do a lot more of that regular ongoing maintenance. I sort of got to a point where I was like, oh, this thing is too thick. I need to do a mini renovation. I need to scalp it down and remove a lot more material than if I just had have been doing it consistently. So if you are on that bandwagon, you have got yourself a Ryobi scarifier, you have got a groomer. After you've done your spring renovation, don't wait until you're like, oh geez, you know, if you're using a cylinder mower is getting a bit floaty or it's getting a bit too thick, now I need to do it. I think it's a lot more advisable to, you know, probably after 4 weeks or something like that, pretty much if you've timed your renovation, you shouldn't have any sand patches left and you should be at full recovery. So then after about 6 or 7 weeks is when I personally, in my situation here with my lawn, going to be coming across with that Ryobi scarifier and just doing a really light pass just to thin it out a little bit. It takes me half an hour or something like that. Give it a light thin out and just consistently being able to maintain it instead of, and you know, consistently just sort of keeping the thickness like this, where it gets a little bit thick for a few weeks, bring it back down, rather than getting to the point of like, far out, this lawn has just gotten away from me. Which is still going to happen, like I said before, in life sometimes, but it's gotten away from me. I need to really cut it back. Trying to avoid that is the goal. And then my last thing, it's more advice than something I learnt, but do as many lawn renovations as you need, especially early on, working on a new lawn. So last season, mid-spring, and then again, late summer, early autumn, first day of autumn is when I top dressed. I did 2 full-scale lawn renovations, scalp, scarify, core aerate, top dress. And I had heaps of people saying to me, especially on Instagram comments, didn't you just do this a couple of months ago? And yeah, the difference in between them, December, January, February, 3 months. It was 3 months between full-scale lawn renovations, which is frustrating because especially in that early autumn period, I do always sort of recommend that late summer thin out, give it a really good scalp and scarify on these thatchia grass types to have a nicer winter. But essentially last season, out of 6 really good growing months, I spent 2 recovering from lawn renovations, which is just annoying. But I can already tell with the, you know, and I just know from this winter, the amount of rain we've especially had over the last week and a half, 2 core aerations, 10 cubic meters, so 2 cubic meters per 100 square meters worth of sand across here last season, it really has made a difference. So whether you are at a starting point now in your lawn care journey, whether you love your lawn and you've just moved into a new place or something like that and you're getting going again, starting all over again, honestly, if you've got super bumpy, poor drainage, all those sorts of things, maybe this coming growing season, you just go, you know what? My lawn is basically going to be in recovery mode a lot of this season because I've got to hack through excess growth, or I want to top dress 2, maybe 3 times. You might want to do a start of spring full renovation, another core aeration just in midsummer, just to continue opening up your soil profile if you've got poor soil, and then another full renovation in late summer as well, just to really hit it hard, make heaps of improvements. Yes, you're going to be looking at a lawn that's spending most of the season recovering from renovations, but for me personally, I've gone through that now. I've had 1.5 growing seasons living at this house, and so lots of that has been recovering from renovations. But I know this coming season, I'm going to do a renovation in spring because I am still working on drainage and, you know, core aeration, top dressing, that sort of thing. But as long as I can stick with the regular maintenance, the mowing, the thinning it out, that sort of thing, this coming season is going to be a really, really nice one because I can do that renovation start of October, be recovered by November, and then have the whole season ahead to just have my normal maintenance, look out for issues with fungal disease and that sort of thing, but essentially just be able to enjoy it for the whole season. So those are my top 3 from last season. Hopefully some of those will be able to help you coming into next season. Yesterday was the middle of winter here in Victoria, so by the time this video goes up, we're a little bit past that. We're coming up to 6 weeks left in winter, so it's going to go really, really quick, and it's going to be an exciting season ahead. So yeah, hopefully that video was helpful and not too much of a ramble. Appreciate you watching. Subscribe if you haven't already and all that sort of crap, but I will see you in the next one. Cheers.